Ladies and gentlemen, there will come a time in your life when you place your trust in someone, perhaps a friend, a partner, a mentor, only to watch them betray you. And when that moment arrives, you will be faced with a choice. Will you let their actions define you, or will you rise above them? Betrayal is one of the oldest wounds known to humanity. It shakes us because it is an act of destruction from within. The closer the betrayer, the deeper the cut. But here is a truth most people overlook. Betrayal is not a reflection of your worth, but of the character of the one who chose to betray. Those who deceive, those who manipulate, those who trade loyalty for personal gain, they do not walk away unscathed. They may believe they have won, but they carry with them an invisible burden, the knowledge that they have built their lives on treachery. Trust once shattered is difficult to restore. And those who betray once will often do so again, finding themselves in an endless cycle of deceit and loss. So let their betrayal be their curse, not yours. Do not allow resentment to chain you to their actions. Do not let hatred poison your heart. Instead, let your loyalty be your crown. But understand this: loyalty is not submission. It is not servitude. True loyalty is the commitment to principles that define you. It is the dedication to being a person of integrity even when others are not. It is standing firm in your values when the world tempts you to abandon them. Be the person who can be trusted, who stands by their word, who honors their commitments, not because the world is kind, but because you refuse to be anything less than your best. And while betrayal may seek to break you, remember that your greatest revenge is not in retaliation, but in living a life so strong, so full of purpose, that the past fades in the light of your success. Let their betrayal be their downfall. Let your loyalty be your legacy. The weight of betrayal and the burden of resentment. Betrayal is a reality that few escape in life. At some point, someone you trusted, perhaps deeply, will act against you, breaking a bond you believe to be unshakable. It might come from a friend who spreads lies about you, a colleague who takes credit for your work, or even a loved one who turns their back when you need them most. In that moment, the natural response is pain, anger, and a desire for justice. But the true danger is not just the betrayal itself, it is what follows in your mind and heart. When we are betrayed, we often replay the event over and over, analyzing every detail, wondering how we could have missed the signs. This can lead to bitterness, and bitterness is a slow poison. It convinces us that trust is foolish, that kindness is a weakness, that we must shield ourselves from future harm by becoming cold and guarded. But in doing so, we allow the actions of the betrayer to dictate our future. We stop trusting not only others, but also ourselves. We stop building meaningful connections. We close the doors to opportunity, fearing that another betrayal awaits. But here's the truth: betrayal does not define you. It defines the one who chose to betray. Their actions reflect their nature, not your worth. The pain they cause you is real, but your response determines whether that pain will shape you into someone stronger or someone trapped in resentment. You cannot control what others do, but you can control how you rise from it. Those who betray others believe they are gaining something: power, wealth, status, or personal advantage. But what they do not realize is that betrayal carries its own cost. Trust, once broken, is rarely restored. They may move forward with temporary success, but over time the patterns of their deception catch up with them. Relationships built on lies crumble. Reputations built on manipulation fall apart. Even if the world does not see their deceit immediately, they carry the burden of knowing they achieved their success not through integrity, but through treachery. And that knowledge weighs heavily on the soul. You must decide whether to let their betrayal consume you or to use it as fuel to become stronger. Pain is an unavoidable part of life, but suffering is a choice. The moment you let go of resentment and refuse to let their actions shape your future, you take back your power. They may have caused you harm, but they do not get to define your story. Instead of allowing betrayal to harden you, allow it to refine you. Instead of responding with vengeance, respond with mastery of yourself, of your emotions, of your destiny. That is the path of strength. That is the path of wisdom. Loyalty is a sign of strength, not weakness. Loyalty is often misunderstood. Some see it as blind obedience, as a naive commitment to people or ideas without question. But true loyalty is something far greater. It is a deliberate choice to stand by what is right, even when it is difficult, even when others do not. It is not weakness. It is one of the strongest virtues a person can possess. In a world where convenience often outweighs commitment, loyalty has become rare. People abandon relationships when they no longer serve them, break promises when they become inconvenient, and turn their backs on those who once supported them. But the people who do this fail to see the long-term consequences. When you betray loyalty, you may gain something in the short term, advantage, power, freedom from responsibility, but what you lose is far greater. You lose trust, credibility, and the depth of character that makes a person truly strong. Loyalty is not about staying in situations that are harmful or blindly following those who do not deserve it. It is about holding firm to your principles, standing by the people who have proven themselves, and being someone who can be counted on. It is about being a person whose word has weight, whose actions align with their beliefs. This kind of loyalty builds not only strong relationships, but also a strong sense of self. It creates a foundation that others recognize and respect. Weak people betray easily. They break commitments because they fear sacrifice. They turn on others when it benefits them. But in doing so, they reveal their own instability. They may justify their actions, convince themselves that loyalty is for fools, that the world rewards only those who look out for themselves. But in the end, they find themselves surrounded by people who treat them the same way they treated others. They may have momentary victories, but they will never know the security of true trust, the strength of lasting bonds, or the satisfaction of being a person of integrity. A loyal person, on the other hand, builds something lasting. They build reputations that cannot be easily shaken. They attract people who respect them, not out of fear or obligation, but out of genuine trust. They walk through life knowing that their word means something, that their relationships are built on real foundations, and that they can look in the mirror and respect the person they see. This is not weakness. This is the ultimate strength. The curse of the betrayer. Betrayal may seem like an act of power, a strategic move that grants the betrayer an advantage over those they deceive, but beneath the surface, it carries a hidden cost. While the betrayed may suffer temporary pain, the betrayer carries a burden that lingers far longer. This is the curse of the betrayer, the erosion of trust, the decay of character, and the inescapable consequences of their own actions. People who betray others often believe they are being clever. They justify their actions, telling themselves that they had no other choice, that they were simply doing what was best for themselves. Some may even believe that morality is just a game, that the ends justify the means. But life has a way of catching up with those who break trust. While a betrayal may provide short-term gain, it plants the seeds of long-term ruin. First, the betrayer loses credibility. Even if they manage to deceive one person, word spreads. A reputation for dishonesty follows a person wherever they go. It may take time, but sooner or later, people recognize patterns. When someone consistently prioritizes their own benefit over loyalty, integrity, or fairness, they become known for it. And when trust is lost, opportunities vanish. Others hesitate to work with them, to invest in them, to rely on them. No one wants to stand beside a person who has a history of turning on those closest to them. But the curse goes deeper than just external consequences. It corrodes the betrayer from within. When a person chooses betrayal, they also choose a life of looking over their shoulder. They know what they have done. They may silence their conscience for a time, but the knowledge lingers. They become paranoid, expecting others to betray them as they have betrayed others. They struggle to form deep connections because they assume everyone operates by the same ruthless code they live by. And in doing so, they isolate themselves, even if they are surrounded by people. Betrayal has a way of coming full circle. Those who manipulate, deceive, or abandon others often find themselves victims of the same actions. The kind of people who succeed through treachery inevitably attract others like them. Eventually, they experience the very disloyalty they once inflicted on others. They built their success on shifting ground, and when it crumbles, there is no one left to catch them. Meanwhile, the person who is betrayed has the power to rise beyond it. While betrayal is painful, it can also be a moment of transformation, a chance to learn, to grow, to become wiser. The betrayed may suffer, but they are not doomed to the same fate as the betrayer. They can move forward with integrity, build a life rooted in loyalty, and surround themselves with people who truly value them. The betrayer, however, is left with the consequences of their own choices. So let those who betray carry their own burden. Do not waste time seeking revenge, because life has a way of dealing with those who act without honor. Their curse is of their own making. And when the consequences of their actions finally catch up to them, they will have no one to blame but themselves. Building a life crowned with loyalty. Loyalty is not just about the way you treat others. It is about the foundation upon which you build your life. It is a reflection of your values, your character, and your long-term vision. Those who live with loyalty do not simply follow people, they follow principles. They commit to integrity, to standing by those who deserve it, and to staying true to their own word. And in doing so, they create a life that is stable, respectable, and deeply fulfilling. In a world where quick gains and temporary alliances often seem more rewarding, loyalty may appear outdated. But the truth is, those who build their lives on loyalty create something far more valuable than those who chase short-term benefits. They build strong relationships that last. They gain trust that cannot be bought or faked. They develop a reputation that speaks for them before they even enter a room. These things may not offer instant gratification, but over time, they create a life that is far richer and more meaningful. Being loyal does not mean tolerating mistreatment. It does not mean remaining in toxic relationships or allowing others to take advantage of you. True loyalty is selective. It is reserved for people, causes, and values that have proven themselves worthy. It is not about blind devotion. It is about wisdom in choosing where to invest your trust. When you live with this kind of loyalty, you surround yourself with people who uplift you, who respect you, and who stand by you in return. On the other hand, those who reject loyalty in favor of selfish gain often find themselves in a lonely position. They may move from one opportunity to the next, from one relationship to another, but they never build anything lasting. They struggle to find true allies because they have never been one themselves. They may believe they are winning by always putting themselves first, but in the end, they find themselves surrounded by people just like them, people who are only there for what they can take. Loyalty is not a weakness, it is a source of strength. It is what allows leaders to inspire, families to endure, and friendships to deepen over time. It is what separates those who build meaningful legacies from those who live only for the moment. The person who is loyal to their values, to their commitments, and to the right people will always have a foundation to stand on, no matter how unpredictable life becomes. So build your life with loyalty as its cornerstone. Choose to be someone others can trust, not because the world is kind, but because your integrity is worth more than any temporary advantage. When loyalty becomes your crown, you walk through life with something no betrayal can take away: self-respect, true relationships, and a legacy that stands the test of time, rising above and moving forward. Betrayal has the power to break a person, but only if they allow it to. The pain of being deceived, abandoned, or wronged can feel overwhelming, but the true test is not in the betrayal itself, it is in how you respond. Many people get stuck in the cycle of resentment, replaying the moment in their minds, wishing for revenge or justice. But the greatest revenge is not in destroying those who betrayed you. It is in building a life so strong that their actions become insignificant in the face of your success. Holding on to betrayal gives power to the betrayer. When you allow their actions to control your emotions, your thoughts, and your future, you let them win twice. But when you rise above, when you refuse to be defined by what happened to you, you reclaim your power. You shift your focus from the past to the future. From pain to purpose, you choose growth over grievance. Moving forward does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending the betrayal never happened. It means learning from it. It means recognizing the lessons about people, about trust, about yourself, and using that wisdom to become stronger. The pain you endure can either make you bitter or make you better. The choice is yours. People who betray others often assume that their actions will leave lasting damage. But what they fail to realize is that they are not the ones who determine your future. You are. They may have walked away, they may have hurt you, but they do not have the final say in your story. You do. And when you refuse to let their betrayal define you, when you choose to rise rather than sink, you prove that their actions were powerless against your strength. Success is the greatest answer to betrayal, not out of spite, but because it shows that no betrayal, no setback, no moment of pain can stop someone who is truly determined. The best thing you can do is build a life so full of purpose, so aligned with your values, that those who betrayed you become a distant memory, a footnote in a story of triumph. So let them carry their betrayal as their burden. Let them live with the consequences of their choices. But you walk forward with your head high, your heart strong, and your loyalty intact. Because in the end, it is not their betrayal that will define you, but the way you rise from it.